Do Americans actually keep track of where north is all the time? When your cities are built on a grid, it's much easier. Aside from the old cities that cropped up nonsensically like all the cities in Europe, most American cities were planned and built on north, south, east, west grids. Think of it as our superpower to combat the metric system. A lot of this depends on where in America you live. Back home on the East Coast, roads were laid out like the cartographers just threw strings at a map. It was almost impossible for me to keep my internal compass oriented. I live in Phoenix, Arizona now. All the streets are in a grid pattern, so it's way easier to know which way is north. I don't think this is American specific. Do you not know where you are most of the time? If someone says they're east of me, I have a rough idea of where that is. North, south, west. Anywhere I stand in my city I can see the Rocky Mountains. So I always know where west is. Pretty easy to find north from there. Sun rises in the east and sets in the west. Till some people don't have a general sense of where N is. If I am someplace I know decently well, I absolutely know where north is. It's like knowing left versus right or up versus down. I have read that in some cultures this is basic information and everyone just knows. You could tell someone that there is a spider approaching their south leg, and they would instantly know what you meant. Not sure I am there. But yeah, in every city I spend time in I usually have a pretty good sense of compass directions. From a young age I've always known my directions. The road runs certain ways. Certain local landmarks are in a known direction. The time of day and the direction of the sun or the stars as tools to be uses as need be was taught to me in school as well. Now that I think about it, it is a bit weird that I can take my ass anywhere and point in a direction if I'm asked. I've never really thought about it. Had a buddy, Jewish, who was taking a road trip with me. Asked Google for directions. Instructions said, head north, and my friend joked, north? Who do they think we are, Jewish and Clark? Still makes me laugh. I think newer developments tend to have a big main road by which people orient themselves. So in Toronto I always know where I am in relation to Yonge and know Yonge in north-south. At home I know the streets run east-west. Average person doesn't usually know which way is north unless they're pretty familiar with the area. Most don't give directions like, head east 20 miles, anymore either. That was more common back before cell phones and GPS were a thing. Streets and major highways go north, south, east and west. During the day, absolutely. I inherited my dad's really good sense of direction, and I can mentally envision where I am on a map in relation to other things as I walk or drive around. At night, that's out the window unless it's a clear night and you can see the stars. But then, no one really says, head south for 6 miles, at night when it's dark. Also, I don't know if this is unique to the US, but the major roads tend to specify what direction you're going. Interstates especially are really easy, and interstate is the most major type of highway we have. There are generally signs that might say, I-70 West, or I-89 East, or something similar at any entrance to the interstate. So if you're on a road like that, it's really easy to tell, even at night. And for the interstates, the road numbering helps. When interstates are 2-digit numbers, even-numbered interstates run east to west, and odd-numbered ones are north-south. Overall, there's some variation as roads meander around geography, like rivers or mountains. So I-80 or I-10 are east-west, and I-29 and I-81 are north-south. 3-digit ones are a little different. Usually 3-digit ones beginning with an even number are beltways, loops or bypasses around a city, and connect with the major interstate. So in the Washington, D.C. area, for example, I-95 runs north and south through the area. So I-495 is a beltway that runs around the Washington metropolitan area and connects with I-95. 3-digit interstates beginning with odd numbers are usually spurs. They go only one direction off the major interstate, not in a loop. Also, the exit numbers in the U.S. interstate system are systematic. The numbers restart at every state line. As you from west to east or from south to north, the exit numbers increase. So you will know you are driving generally westward if you're on I-80 and the exit numbers are decreasing, or north if you are on I-95 and the exit numbers are increasing. Cf. https en.wikipedia.org/wiki/interstate highway system. Yes, I've always been good with direction. A bit of this comes from an understanding of maps and your city, area. Most grids are roughly north to south. So if you know a main street goes north-south, you can deduce a street that crosses that would be east-west. Ground yourself to north and think of yourself as a compass. Forget visualizing it. If the sun's out, see where it is. It'll rise from your right and set on your left. I don't know why, but I can usually tell during the day even if it's cloudy. At night not as well, but hit it about 80% of the time. Left and right boggle me every time. Once I stopped to call a warehouse for directions. I knew I was close, but this city spit makes no sense to me. The man had a hard time with me till I finally asked him if he was east or west of the intersection I was calling from. Smooth sailing then. Yes, we have to be prepared for the Canadian invasion at all times. If you're driving on a freeway, usually the overhead signs will indicate which direction you're going. A lot of our cars also have compasses built into them. My Tahoe had it in the rear view mirror, and a lot of our major highways and roads have it as part of the name, so even if you don't know, it's telling you which direction you're going. Most roads in North America are built on a grid-based system. Highways travel east to west and north to south. Very few highways going diagonally. Most city streets are organized in streets and avenues. So in order to figure out what cardinal direction you are facing, you just have to figure out where you are first. Well, you live in one city, town, right? Once you learn which direction is north in that city, you are covered for the vast majority of your time. I have no idea which way is north if I happen to be visiting another location. But within my own city, yeah, I memorized the one data point of which direction north is. It's not very hard to memorize one data point.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epicaricast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.